Hi, and welcome to Dr. Philosopher. Today we have a very special guest. He died in 1888, and miraculously, he came back from the dead. Please welcome Karl Marx.
Hey,
Nice to meet you.
thanks for having me on the show.
No problem. My pleasure.
Okay.
All right, so tell me about yourself, Mr. Marx.
Well, I was born in 1888 in Trier, Germany. I went to the University of Bonn and the University of Berlin, and I studied history, economics, and journalism.
Did you always plan on becoming a philosopher?
To be honest, I did not. Well, back when I was studying, I was pretty good in history and journalism and economics, since that's what I was studying. But I felt the need that I had to spread my point of view to all these people, as many people as I could, on my views on communism. So I just felt like my views were the most correct and that a lot of society is wrong, so I had to spread the word as much as I could.
Makes sense. Okay. So you wrote a book called The Communist Manifesto. It was co-written by Frederick.
Angles.
Okay. And it's obviously about communism.
Yep.
Can you tell me about your intent when writing the book?
Yeah. Me and Frederick are actually close friends, and we shared similar viewpoints on communism and how things should be run. And we both wanted to get our ideas out there, so we thought that the most effective way would be to write a book. So we were hoping that the book would lead to a revolution, considering that the government really wouldn't do very much of an effect. It wouldn't do much. So we were hoping that the book would help eliminate the upper class and that it would lead to a new era of socialism and later communism.
So it later become communism after it
Yep.
was socialist?
Yep.
Okay. And you also said the revolution would kill
Yeah.
the upper class, essentially?
Yeah, because we were hoping that the government, if we got the government involved, it would maybe add a tax or maybe just do something really light, but it wouldn't really make a difference. Not the way that we wanted, because we wanted a whole new view on communism for everybody. So we thought that just eliminate all the upper class and just.
Okay. So are you completely against capitalism?
No, I'm not completely against capitalism. It's just I feel that it strongly contradicts my ideas and my thoughts that I put in my book. No, I think that everybody should be treated equally and have equal benefits. I think that everybody should be put in a job that they can do to the best of their ability. For example, if there was a doctor and there's a factory worker, obviously one would be better at certain things than the others. So they should be put in those jobs and they shouldn't have more or less benefits than the other.
Okay. And I guess you would assume that capitalism also creates that division of upper class and lower class, correct?
Yeah, that's exactly what I don't want. I just feel like I just feel like the upper class and the lower class has too much of a separation where the benefits is just, they're too extreme in the differences and it's just unfair, it's unmoral, it's unethical.
Okay. So what exactly do you think about communism?
I think that it's the most ideal form for a society. It really encourages equality between the workers, the non-workers, and the upper class. I imagine a world where materialistic wealth, is distributed equally between everybody.
That would be nice.
That would be great. I just think that a capitalistic economy or a capitalistic society does not allow that, and it's wrong. It's not very effective, and it's very discouraging to a lot of people.
So essentially, doctors would make the same as factory workers?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. That could be good and
Because
both bad.
the doctors would be, that's what they're good at, and the workers is what they're good at.
That's
You
true.
know, not everybody should go for the highest paying jobs, all the factory workers.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you think of the workplace?
The workplace is owned by the upper class. They run the production, which leads to them running society. Now, the fact that they run society, or the fact that they run the production and things, it leads to very unethical actions led by capitalism, which is completely what I'm against.
Okay. So essentially, the upper class, they rule the factory workers
Yep.
and pretty much take over society.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's not equal.
So, Carl, if you were to change one thing in the world, what would it be?
If I were to change one thing, I would definitely eliminate child labor. I think it's a terrible thing, and I believe that children should be in a school setting. I think that they should grow up learning and pay off a better debt to society in the future.
Do you have any kids, perhaps?
I do. I have 4 girls and 2 boys.
Cool.
I would never want them to grow up in such a way where they have to work all their life and just like start working really early. And,
Well, I think everybody would want a bright future for their kids.
Yeah.
I mean, it's common parenting.
It's a terrible thing to have them work so early.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you developed a theory with Frederick.
Engels.
Okay, and it was called Marxism, correct? And can you tell us a little bit more about Marxism?
Well, basically what I said before is like I want everybody to enjoy the fruits of their labor, and I want the elimination of the separation of the upper class and the lower class.
Okay, so what exactly do you mean, enjoy the fruits of their labor?
That, well, for example, the lower class is scraping to get by, and the upper class has too much money to even enjoy.
I'm pretty sure the upper class, I think everybody would want to be up there, because I mean, more money, more fun, right?
Yes, that seems to be what most people think, but in truth, and you will be happy with so much money, but once you get to a point where you have too much, you'll find yourself in a position where you just are not happy. Like you might buy the car of your dreams and then use it for a week and then buy a new one. You might buy the biggest house in the world and lose communication with your loved ones. Whereas like the lower class it's all about money. It's like worrying about money and
A struggle.
Yeah, exactly. So if everybody were equal, everybody should enjoy the same benefits.
So Carl, what do you think you do for society?
Well, I like to think that I get people to challenge the normal.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, well, like I said before, I wanted my book to have the effect of a revolution. So I want people to really notice the country, the way the country runs, and I want them to think for themselves more, and I want them to see what I see.
Okay. So what do you think workers are responsible for?
I believe that work is responsible for providing for their family and honoring their country in hard economic times.
Okay. So you're quite the family man, I'm guessing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So obviously you'd obviously support for your family.
Yep, 6 kids to take care of.
Yeah, I guess so.
Ha ha ha.
Well, Carl, thanks for coming on the show. It's been great, but I have no more questions.
Okay.
Right.
Thanks.
See you later.